guys, what is up? And welcome to the top 16 of the Pro Play Tour. I'm here with my boy, the master commentator, Mr. Pat O'Neill. We're watching this amazing matchup between the KTMs. Could you tell that is Anthony Micallef on the left, the Canadian assassin. Fun fact, has never not won a tournament he's top cutted.
Really?
Yeah, undefeated in top cuts. Yeah, I think he's top cutted 3 events and won those 3 events. Just a fantastic player from Canada, playing blue-red Hirudegarn.
He's playing probably, arguably my favorite deck of all time, which is just red-blue Hirudegarn mid-range.
Right.
So.
And then we have the PPG hero, Mr. Jonathan Rodriguez. This guy's been making waves in the game and the community, just been playing amazing decks. And we have another great deck he's playing here, which a lot of the PPG team was on, which was the red Frieza deck we saw. I think arguably played it the best we saw yesterday. He just kind of crushed his opponent. I feel like this deck is very good against aggro, which Anthony is playing. However, I do think Anthony has a couple outs to a couple things he does, so I think it's going to be a pretty back and forth game. Though I can't say I'm an expert in the blue-red Hirudegarn versus red Frieza matchup.
It's still really new. A lot of people I don't even think have tested too much with the red Frieza, because a lot of people are surprised about the leader, that it's doing so well. Yeah, it's really powerful. +2 on the front,
right.
And then on the backside you have access to really strong defensive ability. Its cards have great synergy, lots of card advantage. Obviously, when you get to the late game, you get the denial off of the Frieza Super Rare, the Final Showdown. So just really well-rounded. It does everything.
Yugo stream will be up very soon, guys. They're working on it right now. They're getting stuff set up. They're doing the player meeting for their top 16. Like, everything is coming around.
And there's that one-drop Frieza that we see makes, so many things happen, so many things possible in this deck, both offensively and defensively. Lots of tricks that you can do with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this deck just is so neat. It has so many cool tools. I think it also has the surprise of, like, how do I say this? It has a bunch of unknown cards. Like, this isn't a deck that I think a lot of people are used to playing against right now. You know what I mean?
We'll see how Anthony adapts. We saw earlier Jonathan got the body swap Captain Ginyu off of his leader ability. That's a card that Anthony's got to be conscious of and play around now, because he knows it's there.
Arguably the best card of Clash of Fates. I think there are some cards that we have, like Preemptive Strike is also very good.
It's definitely up there. I would argue it's definitely the best red card.
Okay.
It's probably the card that it's between that and striving to be the best Son Goku. I would think for the card that's most represented from the set. It's in a lot of decks. I've seen people play Body Change Ginyu even in like a Shenron deck with literally no other red, just because the card's that good and you have a Child's Wish and World Peace to actually use it.
Seems like a good card in the mirror match for Shenron as well. You can use it to still their Shenrons and stuff, which seems pretty cool.
Playing M2 from Anthony.
Yeah, both players at 5 life. So they're kind of just moving right along here. Dende coming out for Jonathan as well. I don't think it's going to be particularly good in this matchup, but I'm sure it performed well for him throughout the night. Anthony's swinging in with Kaba right now, 15,000 double strike. And I will turn off the autofocus on the camera immediately, guys. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that every time you touch your computer, it changes its settings back.
Curse you, Logitech.
Yeah.
I actually like this attack a lot from Anthony. So, anytime you can take your opponent from 5 to 3, so then get full advantage out of the Awakening is always really nice. Playing M2 also really clutch. Jonathan main boarding, there's a lot of those utility 1-drops.
All right, that's going to be 20,000. We'll see if he decides to combo anymore. Also, fun fact, Pat, KTM and PPG made up half of the top cut yesterday. Not too bad.
It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a lot of friends on KTM that I'm pulling for this event. Oh
yeah, I mean that's always been the fun thing about our game. While we do have teams, and I put those in quotation mark because I think I use that very loosely. Obviously, we all work together to make sure this is a fun experience for everyone. That's always been the way. Shenron's Lair, KTM, PPG, all just work together to make sure we can bring great content to the community. But more importantly, make this a game that's fun to play and fun to come to. We all work together to bring the Fight Night series last week, and then this week the Pro Play Tour, and who knows what to come.
one card plus 2 copies of another. You must rewrite the whole list if your deck is not 100% a carbon copy of the deck you played yesterday.
As a Hirudegarn player, Pat,
if it is, you do submit a deck
you're at
list with your
4
name.
life. Do you attack and do you attack with the unawakened side of the leader first? That way you get a discard, draw 2, and then you do awaken the ready 2. I mean, how does that exactly work whenever you attack?
I mean, usually for me, I like to attack with the unawakened side unless I'm at least at 4 life. It really depends on the situation. The card advantage is always usually better unless you're in danger of decking out.
Okay.
Or like the top decking of the from their hand, they take a card and place it on the top of the deck. If that's relevant, like if your opponent only has like 5 or less cards, that really opens up your options to close out the game. So, but generally, unawakened side leader I think is usually better before you awaken, just to get that extra card. Because there's usually a worse card in your hand, and there's usually something better you could end up with in the long run. Just Hirudegarn in general as a leader is, I don't want to say overtuned, but he's arguably the best standalone leader in the game. I think Shenron's the only one that really can kind of contest that throne.
Yeah, just like default, just one of the best. Yeah. No, I agree.
It's Hirudegarn. For those of you who play Yu-Gi-Oh, it's Hirudegarn as a leader, but it draws 2 cards on the front.
Right now, Anthony putting a lot of pressure on Jonathan here. Hasn't awakened yet. He has had the ability to do so, so this will allow him to untap 2 energy, where he can use either defensively going into his turn to protect himself against the swap engine of Jonathan, or use it to continue to put pressure in, which he might be doing with this combo right here.
The legendary banned fleet. Anthony's deck list is filled out.
Ooh, he gets to play Legic out too. That's pretty cool. So
that actually is really nice. Legic, a card I feel like is largely preference. Like,
yeah.
I personally don't. I've never really liked it, but I know players like Danny Hype really like to use it in a lot of their lists.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of Legic, personally, but it seems like every time I see it played by someone else, I'm like, wow, that card's really good. Like,
yeah. It's just how abusable is your Cyber Dragon? That's basically what the card is.
I actually watched the GT series with Legic in it, and I was really disappointed, which I feel like is just that series. But
I'll be honest with you, I started GT, and I skipped straight to the end to see like SS4 and stuff.
Here we go, my boy. I love this Zarbon card. 15,000, 2-drop attacker. When he's KO'd, he
minus 15,000, and then you have to draw a card, and then of course
actually
Frieza.
I need to check something off this card. Actually, I want to look at something real quick. I actually don't know this question. Does it say when this card's KO'd, or does it say whenever the card goes to like the drop? Or
that's actually really relevant.
Yeah, it is, because if it is, like, unless Frieza says,
yeah, it's kind of like the whole set 1 golden Frieza thing, right? Like set 1 says send it to the drop. You're not actually KOing.
When this card is KO, draw 1 card. Okay,
yes.
And then Frieza.
Yeah, Frieza, I'm pretty sure, actually, the leader specifies that it KOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and KO it. Whereas opposed to Golden Frieza right here, I believe it says place 1. Yes.
Yeah, it does. Okay. So it does KO.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one thing I hate about Golden Frieza is you're placing it in the drop. You're not KOing it. It'd be so much more synergy.
Yeah,
I always wonder if it's because you remember back in the day they used to have really awkward translations.
Yeah.
So like, did they mean for it to be place or KO?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask the same. I actually feel the same way. I actually feel like that's probably what happened. It was just
because
a translation.
Casey Campbell has been head judge a number of these events. That I was like, why can't that be the case? Like, why can't you let me abuse broken stuff?
It'd be kind of cool if they just errated it real quick. It was just like, hey, this is KO instead. Oh, absolutely.
I actually think the leader's really underrated still right now. I think it's a really strong deck. Every time they print Frieza's army stuff, it ends up just boosting that leader. Like, I always felt set 1 in a vacuum, Gold Frieza was the best leader.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He had the best scaling.
All right, here we go. Foreseen a hit coming out.
Interesting to note, Anthony only plays 2. We always talk about the philosophy.
Also, Anthony hasn't awakened yet.
Yeah. We always talk about the philosophy of how many foreseeing hits should you play. It's either 4 or 0. But he's chosen to go with 2 in this matchup.
The Sensu Bean's pretty annoying. It's going to allow Frieza to go up to quite a bit of defensive power here. It'll go up to 25k standard.
That's got to be frustrating also for Anthony, because you see the body change Ginyus there, but there's 2 of them, so it's like if I choose body change Ginyu, I can't. You know, I can't. I just have to pick that, and he's got all the defensive options. He also has 3-drop Frieza to get rid of it, so like he's basically just like, okay, the hit's dead. There's no way this hit's not dead. He has literally 3 answers to it right there. I can see them.
Yeah, Anthony calculating up the combo power. Says no, you know how high he needs to go here.
That's a beautiful thing about his. Like you get so much information that you can just piece wins together. Being on the opposing side of first seeing hit is one of the worst feelings in this game, because you just know your opponent knows every possible line of play you can take for the next like turn and a half, and you know nothing.
Ooh, Anthony getting a Senzu Bean off that. That's definitely a welcome addition.
Oh yeah, play extension is going to be huge. How many hoys has Anthony gone through? I think that's like either the second or third
Yeah, it's like it's the second or third one, yeah. Can't quite make out his hand, obviously. I can see Senzu Bean, and that's it.
Remembering to declare his trigger on East.
Yeah, very good.
Senzu Bean.
Why do you think Anthony's wanting to move him to 2 here? Is that like basically saying I have Mira in my hand? I want to knock you from 2 to 1 here.
Well, he's going to try and take him down to 1, because I think it's at that point, based on, because we know he has a lot of beans, he probably might have a lot of 1-drops. There's a lot more opportunities to close out the attack, or close out the game with the attack.
Game 1923. Hi, Dustin. Hello, man. How's it going, man? Welcome to the chat. Sorry, I know it's early in the morning, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Pat, I'm sure are pretty exhausted here, but
so we're still trying to find our bearings.
But we also have Team Wars after this too, guys, so.
I'm actually really excited for Team Wars.
Oh, me too. Team Wars is sick. Always sick.
The one thing I do want to see for Team Wars, I want to see, you know, it get shaken up just a little bit. Just like I want to see like the, you know, there's always usually a formula. People always go Shigesh, Androids, Shenron. I want to see like Frieza, you know, Green Goku from Clash of Fates. Like I want to see like people really mix it up, get real creative.
Some coffee was hell. I actually don't drink caffeine, guys. It's like a weird thing I do. I don't drink caffeine.
I drink caffeine, but it's only in carbonated form. I am not a coffee or a tea person. It's a really high attack from Anthony. It's looking like 25, 35, 45, 50. It's looking like 50 double strike.
Okay, 50. Obviously, Anthony knows what's in Jonathan's hand. He just counted out the combo power. So this is obviously a strategic combo, right? Obviously, he's either going to say, hey, you're going to take 2 here, or you're going to have to discard a lot of good cards out of your hand. Regin 1988 says, hey, Dustin, European vendor here. Can we get your opinion on the lack of support by the local distributors in all of Europe? America seems to get a lot of love, but Europe is really lacking in that regard. You know, obviously, I don't know that much about the inner workings of, you know, distribution in Europe. You know, I'm not familiar with how that works or the problems, let's say, you guys are facing. However, I will say that I think that it is important that distributors and Bandai itself really focuses on Europe. I would argue that I think Europe actually has a better tabletop scene than America does, and getting the game to take off in Europe would actually benefit the game a lot more than it would taking off in,
it did wonders for like a game like Forza Well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Forza Well was huge in Europe.
Right. That's actually been one of my goals. I talked about it a little bit in National Championship, but I really want to draw more attention to Europe. Actually, the next Fight Night series we're doing, we did West Coast versus East Coast. The next one will be probably U.S. versus Europe, or maybe we'll do West Coast versus Europe, but it'll be something versus Europe.
West Coast versus Europe. I do not envy the logistics of that one.
Yeah, I know, right?
8 hours?
8-hour difference.
8-hour time difference?
Right, so it's going to be a little tough to set up, but I do want to draw more attention to Europe. I think you guys absolutely deserve it. Obviously, we're going to be announcing some stuff with the KTM team that involves Europe as well here in probably a couple weeks. So yeah, we're really trying to draw attention to it. Obviously, one of our big sponsors is Ultimate Guard, which is a European company. I mean, we love Ultimate Guard.
I use all their products.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. Actually, I would love to. I don't know if you have me on Facebook, Rijin, but if you can just like send me a message on Facebook and be like, hey, I'm Rijin 1988 on Twitch, and I will definitely contact you after the events, probably Monday or Tuesday. We can sit down and start setting stuff up. I would love any kind of help I can get in Europe. I was actually going to make a post about it very recently about that. Ooh, Anthony knocking Jonathan to 2. I actually think he used the combo card, the double strike, but didn't declare it. Yeah, on purpose to knock him from 3 to 2, I think.
And there is one of the 2 copies of Science Man.
Yeah, Science Man.
In Anthony's deck. It's actually, like I said, Anthony's a riot. His deck list is hysterical. He wrote Mafuba with like 7 A's. he wrote the card number, because that's all you really need. He wrote the card number, but he didn't write it as Scientist Fu. It's just Science Man. Science Man.
Thank you so much, man. I will definitely be in contact with you. I would say probably Tuesday. We have a long trip home and stuff like that, but I would say
so
Tuesday.
Anthony having two lethal strikes here.
This is pretty huge for Anthony, because what he can do here is, yeah, you're right. He has 2 lethal strikes, so I mean, he could literally just attack with 1 and just say, okay.
Oh man, I just look at Anthony's hand. Not only does he have another sense, he has another unyielding.
I know.
So if he has like another hit, if he drew a hit off of Science
my
Man,
gosh. Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I guess that's my number 1 goal here, is to get the game not only started in Europe, but started everywhere. I want everybody playing this game. This game is amazing. Also, C Bradle7 says, "Can we get Yu-Gi-Oh updates?" I think the stream is going up. I mean, it looks like they're setting it up now. Everything's going. I think they might be a little bit behind, obviously, because of the delays. But yeah, I don't think there's any problems with it at all. C Bradle, but I'll keep you in touch. Next time Richie walks by, I'll ask him what's up. Yeah, actually, I think the Yu-Gi-Oh stream is up. Actually, the players are actually playing on stream right now. I mean,
I don't know if it's
maybe they're commentating. I don't know.
I don't know if they are. I don't know if it's down, and like how we were yesterday, where round 1 it was a VOD only due to internet issues.
Mm-hmm.
But the players have definitely started Top Cut for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Alrighty.
Players talking over something.
Yeah, the stream is Yu-Gi-Oh stream's up, guys. I'll link it in chat for you guys if you guys are interested in the Yu-Gi-Oh tweet stream. It's twitch.tv/PPGYGO. Like I said, they are starting top 16 as well, guys. I think that's right. Probably should actually have like typed the address in, probably, huh? So you guys can just click it. Hey guys, the stream is up. Sorry. Yeah, the stream's up. It's all good to go, guys. So do that a couple times there for you. Oh, okay, he's attacking. I was like, oh my god, what happened to the scientist food? Did he get obliterated?
No. The players were discussing something. Players were looking at each other's drop areas, things like that, trying to figure out, collect a bunch of information.
Well, I noticed that that's something that it really, what's the right word I'm looking for? It kind of sets the more professional players apart from the newer players, is they really use every bit of information they can. They look through each other's drop areas quite a bit. Yeah, they keep track of where the good cards are.
Yeah, especially since in Top Cut, in a premier event like this, you get to actually see your opponent's deck list beforehand, review it. You get a couple minutes to kind of think about the card quantities, so you can pick out the cards that are, bad versus your general game plan, and kind of memorize the quantities.
Anthony choosing not to try to go all in here.
Perhaps he knows that he doesn't have the power to actually
try to fight through the sensor beam. Yeah, I think, yeah. He does have quite a bit of. He has a lot of double strike pressure though.
I think if I was Anthony, I would have still swung a first seeing hit because, as we already know, he has the Ginyu. So being able to steal the hit and throwing it back at him. Then again, Ginyu is still a relatively new card. Even I don't know all the interactions with it.
Right, right. That's true. Yeah, but I think the first thing hit would say like at least discard a card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, he's 20,000 base, so I guess Jonathan was at 25, so I guess he would have had a combo card to put any threat on. So Anthony's at 4 life, and Jonathan is at 2, I believe.
So Frieza looking like he's 25, I believe. Is indicated by the 2 on the dice.
Yep.
Ah, yes. .25 is no joke to block from a leader swing. I mean, we learned that really early on in the game. That 20k is kind of the magic number because they have to waste super combos. And with the advent of Unbreakable Goku, kind of increasing that number, like 25 becomes the new magic number where it's like,
oh,
man,
absolutely,
this is really hard to block, like every turn. Yeah. So there's one of the 3 removal cards that we talked about.
Yep.
For the hit. So he's choosing to give hit minus 20,000 power for KO him. Now, Jonathan not going to get the cards back from him until the end of the turn.
Those are technically in his warp.
Yes, it's not Deborah. If it was Deborah, you would get them back. So 20k here from the I believe that's 3rd form Frieza.
Yeah.
One that's it looks like it's based off of Aliens, the movie.
Yeah, it does actually. All right.
Similar in terms of anatomy. I proposed that question yesterday on stream. What do you think was going through Toriyama and his editors' minds when they were designing Frieza's forms?
All right, here Jonathan attacking for 15k, pitching a card to make it go 20k. Anthony going to take that and go to 3, it looks like.
Bit of trivia, I actually do know that Toriyama's editor, when he was originally writing Dragon Ball Z, they ended up having Cell come into the Android arc because he was like, androids, like originally when it was, Jiro and I believe it's 19, he was like, these aren't cool enough villains. So then he made 17 and 18. He's like, these are still not cool enough villains for your arc. You need something more like Frieza. So then he made Cell. And they're just like, what is this bug thing? It needs to be more like Cell. And that's why his last 2 forms look more like Frieza. Or it needs to be more like Frieza. That's why Cell's next 2 forms ended up looking more like Frieza.
Jeez. All right, so Anthony in kind of a weird spot right here. Looks like he's going to attack with the leader here. I'm not sure exactly where he's attacking into. Ooh, that's a good draw. Unbreakable, going to draw him a card. Draws into it. Looks like it's 2. Does he have 2 Sensu Bean?
It looks like double beans.
And Anthony just passing after that.
All right, so this is really rough.
Jonathan at 1 life though.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to actually swap up to the
Big boy, huh?
The big boy? Well, the big boy's got double strike and critical.
Yeah.
Which even though you won't have access to the pseudo cold bloodlust effect because he's only at 1 life. When your opponent's at 3 and he only has 2 cards in hand.
All right, Anthony's going to take that and go to 2 here.
Anthony, not a lot of firepower in his hand right now. He drew a Kaba off of it.
Ooh, Jonathan getting a super combo is pretty rough here.
Players, I think, showing each other the cards. I think, not quite sure Seems like a concession from Anthony. I'm not quite 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's happening here either.
Yeah, I think it was a concession by Anthony. Then he's like, I'm showing you my cards.
Is top 16 still timed? It is timed. Our stream players are always on a different timer usually. We try to get it started around the same time, but it is timed. And I think we had like 236 players yesterday. Was that what the final? It was like 236.
Yeah, it was quite a lot. 235, 236. One of those two numbers sounds right. Once again, finds the Ginyu.
I know.
Play around it. Such a good card. And
it is a good card.
Knowing your opponent has it right off the bat is like, ooh.
I think this is probably the best matchup out of the top 8. I feel like both these players have really cool decks, and they're also both just fantastic. But I think this very well could have been the finals if things were a little bit different in the brackets.
Yeah.
Like these players are just playing like so well. Jonathan has just really been proving himself. I think he's just been a fantastic player.
Such a good card advantage engine. Inosha into Hirudegarn the Wander.
Yes, sir. Draw 3. Not that bad.
Oh, yeah. It's always interesting for me when I deck build because, like, sometimes I want it because I was like, I want the card advantage. But other times I'm like, but I want the space for, like, more ways to win the game or more ways to do things.
Jonathan already down to 5 life.
Jonathan has that final showdown Frieza and energy, which is probably the second most charged card to energy in this tournament. Number 1 obviously being Ultimate Fusion Gogeta from yesterday.
Right.
I think like a good 80% of our games had Ultimate Fusion as turn 1 charge it. Probably the best 5-drop in the format, and yet we saw I think a grand total of 4 or 5 yesterday, and 3 of them were from Eon Hill.
Oh, Eon. Both Hilt ones make a top cut as well.
Actually, the most interesting story to me in the top cut is the fact that of the original team, the 4 Horsemen, there are 3 currently in the top cut, which would be Eon Hill, Eric Hill, and then Christopher Torres, who has not really attended many events since he was originally part of the 4 Horsemen. And his very first top was actually here in Atlantic City.
Oh, that's cool.
So he is literally the dark horse for this tournament.
That's so cool.
It's kind of like his this could be his comeback run.
I wonder what each player sideboarded. What do you think they sideboarded for this matchup?
I'm actually not sure. Anthony's sideboard, from what I could glance, was had quite a number of extra copies of things like Hit, a couple different Overwhelm cards he could tweak. It feels like largely it doesn't really, if what he sided doesn't change his game plan too much. It just ups ratios or decreases them. I don't know. Mira is a card I think that would really be good in this matchup because to me Frieza just feels like a different version of Hercule as a leader, where you really want to just punch him hard, 2 or 3 times really hard, rather than just keep trying to swipe at him for 15, 20, 25 every turn.
Okay.
Yep, and there's that Goku again. That was a card I was going to say is probably going to come in from Jonathan.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
That card plus Borgos, I think, were the 2 cards I was expecting to come in.
Does Jonathan have Chain Attack?
I'm actually not sure. I don't believe so.
Might not be a bad addition to the deck, actually.
Let's see. I believe we have the deck list right in front of us. Let's see. Ooh. Jonathan's sideboard is interesting.
It has some yellow in it.
Yeah, he has a small yellow package, so he can Cold Bloodlust.
I like that.
I like that a lot. So yeah, he does have this striving to be the best does come in from the board. Interesting. So then, as I was saying with Anthony, you can see he has just extra copies of hits, combos.
Does he have anything to deal with his Goku?
I'm actually not sure.
Masked Man, Mysteria, isn't that the...
Yep. That's Mass Saiyan. So
Isn't that the one that attacks in or no?
Yeah. Kami Global Unifier could get around it. Ask him Mafuba. I think if I'm Anthony looking at his sideboard, I bring in the extra Mafuba.
Ooh, digging deep. Vegeta coming in.
I think for sure Anthony has to, having seen, I think he has to bring in the Mafubas. He has to assume that, like, maybe, I don't know, it's just rough because, like, he really doesn't have too much in the main board for the Goku. I don't know if Jonathan's ever going to swing with it. The hit for sure would have to come in. If I saw the Striding to be the best, I know my curve's got to go larger.
The champion Vegeta could come in too. Does he have that in the deck at all?
I think let's see. I don't think so. It's just, yeah. Burst attack would have to come in. Foreseeing hit would have to come in. Yeah, and then Kami. That's about it. Kami's his only real out to the card. And Jonathan is playing Frieza. Frieza really doesn't ever go above 3 battle cards in play. So this is going to be rough for him.
I wonder how good Chain Attack Trunks would be in Jonathan's deck.
In Jonathan's deck?
Yeah.
That's something I've been, really thinking about. But, like, when I actually sit down to build Frieza, I'm just like, I need 4 of this Frieza, 4 of this one, 4 of this one. I need 4 of this one.
But it would be kind of cool. I feel like another cool card would be like Pan.
Yeah.
Actually, just give it all your...
There's a lot of stuff. Like, Red is just... If blue is stacked with ridiculous extra cards and utility cards, red is stacked with good, battle cards. Like, can green and yellow get some love? Yellow needs love bad.
It was so good in set 1, and I would say actually pretty good in set 2, and then it kind of started falling off a little bit.
Like yellow needs like 5 drops that are on like the caliber of like Kefla and Gogeta. It doesn't have those.
I feel like yellow is usually as good as Cobalt is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it feels.
Exactly. It feels like the whole color is just tied to how good that and how relevant that one card is. I mean, like, yellow has had strong leaders. They have obviously strong super combos, strong extra cards, and their 1 and 2 drops are really powerful. But yeah, and then they're like 8 drops and like 9 drops are ridiculous. But it's like there's nothing in between. It's just like this barren wasteland. That'll probably change in a little bit. I anticipate with set 6, Height of Mastery Son Goku. It's going to be a pretty big card for yellow. That's going to probably be their big finisher.
Please make sure that you turn in a consent form with your entry. Deck lists are not required until the beginning of round 1.
So Anthony went to knock Jonathan into 2 here. It's 20, 30, 45.
So if you have one, please hold on to it till round number 1.
Uh-oh. Scientist Fu coming out.
Science Man coming out once again.
Drawing 2 cards here. Gets... Looked like one of them was Trunks, one dropped Trunks, but I didn't see what the other one was.
One was Kaba.
Okay.
I think it looks like double 1 drops.
Yeah, I thought it was Trunks. Might not have been, though. Might have just been the Kaba. It's like he does have a Sensu Bean available, though. He can actually hit in here pretty hard.
Yeah, this is what you have to do. So you saw the digging deep gets real big. We're not content with just 25K. We need to go larger.
Right.
So there's a coercion, and he's just going to force a pass.
Yeah. That was a really good turn for Anthony, though. I mean, that was Jonathan was pretty
really
vulnerable
good.
Not being able to didn't have Sensu Bean or the effect.
Even though he has the striving to be the best, Anthony's playing around it pretty beautifully.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, again, that's something you talked about, though. Like a Top Cut member, the players do get to see Jonathan's, or each other's sideboard. So I think Anthony isn't going to be surprised by this Goku. Where I'm sure a lot of Jonathan's opponents this last dev yesterday were probably surprised about this Goku coming out of the sideboard.
Knowledge is power. So, I think if I'm Anthony here, I think what my game plan is the next attack that goes through, I want to jam an Isekai behind it and throw my whole hand at it.
Oh, absolutely. Dusty, can you make sure we get some KTM promo cards? Yeah, I will. I mean, I think one of the big things is that we don't... the KTM promo cards, I don't do them. Andrew Lennar does. The team manager does them. He has the stamp. It's like a $300 stamp or something like that. And then he had to buy like the thing. And then so we're in the process of changing the logo for KTM. So I think he's holding off to making more until we get the new logo finalized. That way, he doesn't stamp a bunch of cards that are, I guess, irrelevant or have the old thing. So, but yeah, as soon as we get them, we'll have them available for you guys. Absolutely. All right, Anthony defending that attack. Does have Sensu Bean now. I actually love this card right here.
Yep. It was one of the major choices that I used in Janimba at Nationals. It played a huge role in a lot of my wins because I could play a body on board, and it would make my leader, pretty huge, and I didn't really lose any advantage for doing so.
It's completely free. Yeah, you just draw a card. Yeah.
That cycle from that third tournament pack, with this and then also Tella, those cards are just great. They have very little cost to actually use them. Just 3 cards in the drop is nothing. It's almost every leader can do that easily in one turn, and what you get out of it is you just get so much advantage out of it. You're basically getting to strip you're getting like 2 or 3 cards out of your opponent's hand just from this one card. Anthony once again just blocking these. Makes me wonder if he is consciously just blocking the attacks rather than taking it, just to fill his drop for another overround.
Right. It actually kind of feels like too that the person he goes first in this matchup is maybe a little favored. I feel like this game, last game, Jonathan was pretty. I'd say was pretty favored throughout the whole match. Like he did very well, put a lot of pressure on, defended very easily, and I feel like Anthony's in that position this game.
He's actually swinging with the Goku.
Uh-oh. That's pretty telling, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think that's a you're going to die if you take this.
You're dead. This is you're dead attack. Or maybe this is a bait by Jonathan. Maybe he wants Anthony to feel that way.
His previous Sensu Beans.
All right, there's a Ginyu, 15,000.
I actually really like this Ginyu because it takes away an attack from Anthony next turn.
Yeah, it takes away Digging Deep. It actually takes away multiple attacks.
Yeah.
Because Digging Deep can restand. All right, Jonathan attacking for 20 here. Restanding. Actually, it's 25.
Yeah. He's getting a lot of cards in Anthony's hand.
I wish I could see Jonathan's hand. I don't know if he has does he have mirror? Does he run mirror in his deck? Like what is the thing?
He's already used his Overwhelm, so I'm actually.
Oh,
curious.
has he really?
Yeah, the Supreme Kai. I'm just really curious.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
I'm just trying to figure out what his. I don't think he has a way to close out the game.
I think Jonathan is just really like.
I think he's just trying to pressure him just to get his hand low. So
right, I agree.
It's like philosophy of best offense or best defense is good offense.
Right.
Like. I'll make you use your whole hand, so that way I don't die, because I have Frieza leader skill, and I'm going to be 20k.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Jonathan is nervous, guys. I think he's just trying to play quickly and efficiently because they don't want to go into time and top cut here. It's kind of how I see it, at least.
Yeah. Top cut obviously has slightly different rules for overtime. Because there has to be a decisive winner. There can be no draws. So the threat of sudden death does make people play a little bit quicker. Chooses not to attack with the Digging Deep.
Question: if Jonathan had Flute, for example, if he returns, if he can use Flute on his Digging Deep Vegeta, right? And it would go back to his hand, and he would draw a card because it's his card.
Yeah,
right?
I believe so. Since he is the original owner of the card.
Right.
Yep. So as we talked about, he was prepping his Overrealm.
Right.
He was consciously defending those attacks rather than taking them, just so he can.
One of those cards is a Trunks. So that's going to be a huge extension of his turn here. Be able to go back to 4 could be devastating. Actually, he could just attack with leader if he wanted here. Use that. Ready leader and then hit if he wanted.
I think the funniest thing that he could do would be to kill him with his own Ginyu.
Yeah.
I would love to see him just get killed with his own Ginyu.
Yeah, he does have Time Patrol Trunks in hand too, which is going to be obviously pretty dead.
So he let it through, correct? He let this attack through, and it's lethal.
Yeah.
I think hand on the table, but you leave Ginyu. You leave at least 5K in your hand for Ginyu.
What do you think?
You leave at least. Actually, no. Combo the Ginyu. Leave the Fu. Combo everything. Leave the Fu.
Jeez, this is so much damage right here. Holy crap! Oh, you got some threes a pair here. All 4 of them, huh?
He's actually. And then the Ginyu.
So 15, 20, 30.
And then just for good measure, the planet M2 that's been sitting there the whole game.
That's game. All right.
John's like, yeah, I can't block that.
And here we go. Wouldn't expect anything less. But these 2 players going into game number 3. All right, so here we go. Game number 3.
Ooh, Bloodlust.
Ooh, yellow.
That's Anthony's probably like, wasn't expecting that to
Yeah,
come in.
like, holy crap.
Even though he's seen the deck list, he's probably like, that wasn't there last
But I feel like this shows just how good of a player Jonathan is. Because, like, normally when you sideboard in something like Bloodlust, you wouldn't want to charge it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your opponent to know, like, hey, I sideboard in Bloodlust or whatever. But, like, they get to see each other's deck list. So, like, Anthony knows that's a possibility. So instead, Jonathan just charges the most efficient energy.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Okay, Anthony taking the card for life here. Going to 7. 7 to 6. Or 7 to 5, I mean. All right, Anthony attacking it with his leader here. Ooh.
Yep, 3 color.
3 color Frieza. Here we go. That gives Jonathan so much utility here.
Yeah. 3 color decks, man. They're still strong.
Yeah, I think maybe Jonathan just realized maybe how important the gates are in this matchup. Obviously, Anthony doesn't have access to battering laser or anything like that, so just being able to negate stall is like really good, especially with like Roshi and your normal negates.
Yeah. There it is. Like I'm just looking at the 2 cards in his energy. I'm like that's very reminiscent of set 1. Where
It
you
is.
Just look at,
It
it's like
is.
there's a Cold Bloodlust in an energy and it's an active mode. There's a Whis Coercion energy. There's an inactive mode. I can't do anything.
Yeah, I'm about to get fracked. There's nothing I can
I
do.
play a card. He Bloodlusts it. I attack him. He beans.
Right.
How fitting that it's a Frieza's army leader too, right?
Right. You're right. Man, Frieza Army Leader. Gee, so good.
Makes me wonder if we'll see 3 colors more often. Since someone asked yesterday in the chat about the 6-drop red Gogeta, well, as soon as I saw that card and I was like, so first off, can't be KO'd, but more importantly, it says if your leader is a red Saiyan and no other colors, I was like, okay, so that's implying that you can be red plus another color. So
Yep.
Dual color soon.
I think it's eventually going to be dual. I think that's just a natural progression for the game. I mean,
Yeah.
me and you both are pretty. What the right word is? Pretty
Yeah. I'm just
attuned of how game design works, and I
Yeah,
think
I'm
that's just the natural
waiting-
progression of the
just
game.
waiting for them to have like cards that are like shock lands, where it's just like, oh, it could be either color energy, but if you put it in your energy, you have to crit a life.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Otherwise, it enters in rest mode. Free Legic.
No big deal. 15,000 and 15,000 here. We'll see if
It's actually
Jonathan's able to
15
protect
to 5,000 because the Frieza's effect, the 2-drop, only it gets minus 5,000 during your opponent's turn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's kind of like the balancing factor of it, because you're technically getting a 15K for 1.
Ooh,
Most
Jonathan choosing to Cold Bloodlust Time Patrol Trunks.
no card advantage.
Yeah, no card advantage, but it's kind of a 1-for-1 here, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Key 11 again. I agree. I think it is a future proofing word or wording. Oh, it did a gate.
Jonathan burning some premium
Yeah,
resources.
like this early in the game. That seems pretty telling what's in his hand. Plus, Anthony with 3 energy, not able to actually play anything though. Though TD is running 2 blue, 1 red. That's obviously probably not exactly ideal for.
It is possible that he is trying to. He's trying to actually load the. I see. I saw he kind of fanned it, didn't actually go through it, but he was trying to get 3 cards, I think, in the drop for the Supreme Kai. Still, those are really premium cards.
Yeah, well, that's 2 Weeses down and 2 Ballas down. Both of those cards are in energy, so it's a lot of information.
Did he just swing and pass, and that was it?
Yeah. What? How many Kobolas does Jonathan run in sideboard?
I think it's 4.
4. Okay.
I think it was 4 and 4 Master Roshis from Tournament of Power.
Oh, okay.
I think that's all the yellow he has. Maybe he can actually afford that in that case to burn the Weeses because if he keeps Wees in the deck and he sells Master Roshi, that works out just fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it's kill again. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense than Key 11.
Anthony's hand looks like it's just kind of filled to the brim with Unbreakables.
Ooh, another Wees. See if Anthony decides to take the life here.
I'm wondering if the logic for this is so that he can get Final Showdown Frieza out and get
just stall,
get even more Cold Bloodlust out of it. Just stall until you can get maybe the secret rare.
Yeah, C. Brattle. Yeah, I think I might still have it here. But yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh stream is up, guys. Their match just finished. But yeah, it's been up like the whole time we've been up. It's just PPG YGO. The link's in the chat, guys.
So we know Anthony has Mafuba in his hand. So we just played Ginyu. Do you Mafuba the Ginyu?
I don't think right now you do, right? Because like, what's he gonna do? Take your trunks? I think you save it for maybe for a more. What deck is Marcel Russell playing from PPG?
He is on Shenron Gogeta.
Shenron Gogeta, yeah. Which I think arguably is probably the best deck of the format.
I would say it is, but it has. It's the deck that does the most explosive things, but I would hesitate to call it the most consistent deck, just because Wish decks by nature have like tons of variance. Like if you were a machine and like always knew with perfect knowledge and knew everything, like, Shenron's never losing.
Looks like Anthony's maybe loading up the drop area here for himself.
Yeah, he's really, really good at like picking the exact cards needed to just like get exactly that 7.
Oh, it's choosing the Mafuba the Giddy. That's actually I guess. I think it's interesting. He can't use the Ginyu next turn either, which is really good. He also can't KO the Ginyu to get the defensive bonus, which I don't think he would probably do anyway, but that's still something that he can't do. That KTM stamped Mafuba coming down. I was actually going through the PPG cards, trying to find cards for my my cube, and someone trade in a KTM stamp card. I was like, uh-oh. What's this?
Seems pretty good. So the real question is, for your cube, for your Cold Bloodlust, do you have the stamped one?
I don't have Cold Bloodlust in the cube.
Ooh, you do not.
No.
Ooh. So
I had
stamp card, basically, because you'll get another shot soon, because they're reprinting Cold Bloodlust, I believe, in one of those like cool alternate foils.
Right. I don't know, with the cube, I really try to keep like all the cards usable.
Yeah.
And the only thing I don't like about Cold Bloodlust, obviously, is you have to have a Frieza leader and a Frieza's army leader, and like most of them are really broken. Like for draft, like Ginyu, like I didn't want to have any self-awaken leaders.
I have Gold Frieza in mine, and I have Galactic Emperor as well in mine.
But like I said, this is the first iteration. I'm sure we'll get to a spot where we are, you know.
My blue leaders are like, people like who play my cube are just like, what are these blue leaders? Because the blue leaders in my cube are Zamasu, Goku Black, Beerus, and then the draft box Goku, where you can just crit yourself to just get energy. There's the Kami that we were talking about earlier coming down.
Okay, let's try to stop the match.
Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
Want me to go get it?
Yeah. We'll check and see, guys. Okay, we're gonna check the match, guys. Make sure that's. But let's go. Well, let me go. I'll be right back, guys.
All right, guys, so we're back. We ended up fixing the issue now, so play is going to end up resuming. So we're going back to Anthony's attack step here. Hoy coming out. I think that's the first Hoy we've seen from him all game. Second Hoy. So, going up to 35 critical. I think Anthony should go a little bit higher here. Again, Frieza is a leader where you can't really just throw out these like small to mid-range attacks. You really have to go much larger than that. Ooh. Throws an East Kai behind it, so now we're looking at 45 critical. I think he could probably afford to go maybe some more.
Okay, so I'm back, guys. I have the bracket for next round.
Okay.
And so what I want you guys to do is just kind of just vote. I don't know how many is in chat right now, but essentially just put the corresponding number. So for match number 1, we have Ryan Severin versus Eon Hill. So if that's the match you want to play, hit 1. Number 2 is Brendan Ackerson versus Justin Rios.
Ooh, so that means if Brendan won, that means Marcel's out.
Yeah. Number 3 is Eric Goodwin in the winner of this game.
Yes.
And then number 4 is Nicholas. I'm sorry, I can't read this handwriting. Is it Morris? Right.
Nicholas Morris
versus Eric Hill.
And I would like to see Ryan Severin versus Eon Hill because that's 2 of my boys.
Right.
I think that would be a really, really fire match.
Yeah, so you guys just, like I said, just type the number you want, and then we will. All right, so now they're discussing time rules.
Yeah. I'd like to see, I think maybe 5 more here on Anthony's attack, just because since his attack lines up evenly with Jonathan's, because Jonathan's technically a 20K right now, and he's, I believe, hitting for 50. I'd like to see 55 because it forces Jonathan to commit an extra card here. So, wow. Jonathan's spending a lot of resources to block this. He does not want to take the 20 or to take the double strike critical. He just burned 3 super combos and an unbreakable.
Oh, then he cold bloodlust the.
Cold bloodlust is the science man, as he's now going to be called for the rest of the tournament.
The science man.
Anthony still has actually a sizable number of attacks that he can dish out here.
He has 3 that I see on field right now.
3, and then I believe he still has a cowboy in his hand, plus beam. So
yeah, it looks like the Ryan Severin.
Eon Hill.
Eon Hill is winning, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be so funny because Eon is super paranoid about playing on stream because you guys always get, find something, and then Ryan's also paranoid because he's like, I always lose on stream. I always lose. I tried to get both of them on stream. I succeeded in getting Eon Hill through happenstance when we picked Tim yesterday. But I tried so hard to get Ryan on there, and every time he was like, no, get away from me.
Get away from me, Pat.
Man, this synergy is so good. You get 5K from the Supreme Kai Light Sky, Supreme Kai of Time Light Sky, and then you're gonna get to pawn it off later on.
Yeah, remember guys, Mafu goes away at the end of Jonathan's of this turn.
Yep.
Yeah, not the end of
Jonathan
Anthony's turn.
chose not to charge anything.
Yeah, I think 5 energy is probably pretty close to where you want to be, but it is kind of unfortunate he has 2 yellow and a blue. It feels like his.
I'm just not sure, dude. He must have sided out Final Showdown Frieza because I haven't seen it in games 2.
Yeah, because I think it doesn't it require 5.
Yeah,
5 red.
You can swap into it for much cheaper, but
well, you can't swap into it.
Can you not do it off 3?
No, because it's a Frieza BR, not a Frieza
okay.
Frieza, yeah.
There's Zarbon again.
This card's so good.
Yeah.
I don't care. This card's amazing.
When I look at Zarbon, I'm just like, wow.
He just
Zarbon
loses 2 cards right here.
Set 1?
Oh my god.
That was the Zarbon we got in set 1. Just like, why play anything else?
But to be fair, the Zarbon we did get in set 1 is I think low key pretty good. Especially apes and some of those other decks.
I used to play it as a 1-of in certain decks. It's really sweet.
All right, that's Jonathan's turn.
Oh, the Supreme Kai of Time. I don't think players have noticed it yet. The Supreme Kai of Time.
Oh, I am thinking the SCR. I'm sorry. Okay, so it must be the. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I was thinking about the SCR.
Yeah, so fine. Okay. Players still haven't realized the Supreme Kai of Time is on board.
We'll see how long it takes. More importantly, there it goes.
There we go.
There it goes.
I was going to say, we might have to stop it, but players usually realize when they look at the board state, they're just like, wait a
second.
The Hirudegarn slowly moving out of frame. It has been the whole match.
Is slowly creeping away. Or if Anthony decides just to try to win this turn. They are pretty close in turns. I think this is maybe the last turn here. And then they go into sudden death or whatever, I think, is the rules. So if Anthony takes 2 life here, this is almost definitely saying, I'm going to try to win this turn. I think it's possible that he does. Jonathan with very few cards in hand. But the thing about this Frieza deck, though, it just could be, there's so many cards it could be that
it's risky. I appreciate him only taking 1. Because if it does,
he took 2.
He did take 2.
I think 2, right? He took 2, right?
It looks like he only took 1.
Oh, he might have only taken 1. Okay.
But if he did in fact take 1, I do appreciate this because he recognizes if we do go to sudden death, which is the rules in overtime for top cut, then if you're equal on life, it's first change in life. But if he had taken 2, it's a much larger hill for him to climb. So now he just ensures that Jonathan has to take only 1, which he did.
Yeah, so 3 of 3. Now the Hirudegarn ability is active here.
Anthony being on a red-blue deck, though, if it does go back to Jonathan, that body change can just go do some serious damage.
Oh, I mean, yeah, taking the
basically gonna end the
Vegeta,
game.
yeah.
Right. He's got to push now. Wow. Frieza's defense is just so strong.
It is. It's really strong, but Jonathan only having like 2 cards in hand, right?
Yeah. There it is, science, man.
All right, no.
Once again, he's still just so good at.
One of his draws was an M2. It looked like.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Anthony once again just so efficient.
Oh, but he does have a double strike.
At getting the exactly 7 overrun cards.
Right.
Like normally, like players go to like 8 or 9, but like he seems to this entire match have gone to exactly 7 to hit it every single time. So now it's just this fine dance of how much do I put behind my digging deep.
Yeah, I mean, there might have been an argument.
Is that 35?
There might have been an argument here to just, when he attacked with his Hirudegarn, just to combo away the digging deep, just to make sure that, like, Ginyu doesn't get it.
Yeah.
That way you keep your board clear, and it makes the Ginyu a lot worse, I think.
Still comboing. Is the digging deep base 30?
Yeah.
Those 2 sensu beans were used on it from the leader swing, I believe.
Yeah.
And then M2 to
So
basically.
It looks like Jonathan does have Whis in hand. I'm trying to keep look whenever he's flipping through, but it looks like there might be.
He keeps his cards close to the best for sure.
Yeah, like I'm picking up just little subtle parts of the art. I think he does have Whis in hand, which means this would be devastating for Anthony if he attacks and gets this science food negated. Okay, I think he's going to use his blue here, which is maybe indicative that he has a Kaba in hand.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think he has a Kaba as the backup plan.
All right.
He's unyielding.
He does have a trunk. Yeah, that's huge. Okay. This is so much damage. There's 1,000,000 damage right here. I think Jonathan will probably take this.
45.
Yeah, this is 30. Yeah, 30, 45. Yeah, he hasn't used M2 yet either.
Yeah, you were right. It looks like Jonathan does have the negate.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, I think I saw it when he was flipping, but like I said,
I think it's going to come down to whether or not Anthony has the Kaba.
I don't see it in hand. Yeah.
It's an M2, a Minosha. Oh, he has a double striker. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Dusty.
What?
I see a path.
Oh, what is it?
He can actually. Oh, but he would have to combo the unyielding now because he tapped the blue. He could summon Minosha and put a double strike behind it.
Uh-oh.
But he won't be able to do that if this food gets negated. He needs to realize and combo the unyielding now.
Right.
Otherwise, he doesn't have a window.
All right, Jonathan taking it.
So he takes it. Well, actually, hold it.
But what's
Deep gets 2 attacks, right? Doesn't he get a second attack? Now that I think about it.
He already attacked once. That's why he had 3.
Once?
But what's
Okay.
devastating is it's going to just be countered.
Doesn't even wait. He's like, oh, you declare an attack. He's just right there with it, with the quickness.
Why that's so devastating is that like now he can't use his unyielding.
Yeah, that's the same. Like there was a path forward. It's just you needed to.
The scientist food needs to get off the field too. That's
Anthony in a very rough spot because he's gonna get to attack with Ginyu. He's gonna get the body change and take your digging deep, and then your digging deep is gonna get 2 attacks in on you. Okay, I'm again confused. It must be a verbal concession.
looks like he's just showing that he can go this high, and
Yeah.
I think maybe Jonathan can't beat it, and he's saying you win.
I will go. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
But Minosha does take a blue.
All right. So Anthony gave the verbal concession to Jonathan. So Jonathan Rodriguez will advance.
Well, yeah. Well, the head judges told us it was a time ended, and so
Okay.
they
Okay.
yeah
Overtime ended.
overtime ended. So
Overtime ended. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so check one's life, they were tied. Check 2 is cards and deck. Jonathan had more cards in deck, and then check 3 is
Most cards and drop.
but yeah most in cards and drop loses.